Hey YouTubers, this is Rantin Robin.
And DigiFoxCat.
And today we want to talk to you about our DC Funko Pop vinyl collection. This is one of my favorites. This was the first pop vinyl that either of us got. It's Batman. But there's something interesting to note about this Batman, because I managed to get my hands on the rare version. The first half batch of the Batman pop vinyls that came out had a discrepancy between their shirt symbol, where you'll notice that there's a yellow bat symbol on the shirt, and the picture on the box, which has the symbol without the yellow field around it. At the beginning, those went for around $400 or $500 on eBay, and now they're down to about $80. But I don't plan on selling mine at all, and I have not yet gone and gotten the traditional Batman yet.
Well, this one looks a lot better than the traditional.
I totally agree with that. That's the way I would have done the symbol anyways, which is why they probably did it.
But if you want the other one, then you can have Dick Grayson Batman and regular Batman from Incorporated.
That's true. He does look a lot like the pre-New 52 Dick Grayson Batman, which is also my favorite Batman. This is another one of mine originally. I mean, we've combined our collection completely, but Tim Drake is probably hands down my favorite Robin. And this was the second pop vinyl I got, because I saw, ooh, Batman collectibles, and I grabbed Batman and Robin. This Robin's not special or anything, not a chase or anything like that. This is just the traditional Funko Pop Robin. Family did try to buy me another one, so I had a duplicate for a while that I gave away to a friend of mine who was into collecting them. But yeah, this is my Robin. I purposely kept the one with the slightly better paint job of the two that I had. I like the fact that if you look really close, I'm not going to try in this video, you can actually see the yellow outline on his cape on the side where the black and the yellow meet. It's kind of hard to see it on the actual video. And then of course the R is accurate too, which is important when doing Tim Drake to notify that his R is different from Dick Grayson's and Jason Todd's.
But he has the two little curls like they quite often do Dick Grayson in the comic books.
Yeah, and sometimes Jason Todd's even drawn with the two curls in the earlier comics, so it makes you wonder if they got mixed up a little bit when designing him, because Tim Drake usually has the spikier hair.
Of the 90s.
Of the 90s, yeah. He did several different hairstyles, but they got the suit right.
Okay, so this one's technically my first Funko Pop, and it is Batgirl. Very nice design. Is Barbara Gordon Batgirl. Got the yellow, more of the gray colored, and with the blue cowl. Very well done. You can see the symbol is Batman. Simple, but only in yellow. And then they cut out the belt, her utility belt, more.
I personally don't like this design for Batgirl as much as some of the other designs where the brunt of her outfit is the darker color, and the gloves are sometimes darker too. But I guess this works for a traditional DC design of Batgirl. Kind of almost reminds me of a mix of the animated series and some of the other Batgirl designs.
And her box picture does not match the color. She's more muted. Well, it has her more of a brighter golden yellow almost with a dark gray. So that would have made it a little bit better.
Agreed.
We did also get a duplicate of this one the same year. We got the Robin duplicate, and you will see what happened to that next. So this is Batgirl number 2, custom made to be Stephanie Brown, aka Batgirl 2. I don't know how well you can see the paint job, but she's got her purple cape in there. And I painted oh so carefully around her symbol, gave her her gold hair. And if we hadn't got the Robin away, I probably would have made him into his black and red suit to go with her.
Let me correct one thing. It is actually the third Batgirl, with Cassandra Cain being the second. That was just, that's not a big deal. Stephanie Brown was briefly Batgirl during the Dick Grayson series. Barbara Gordon actually was the prime person who helped her become Batgirl as a way to prove herself, because she had done a lot of things that Batman felt were irresponsible when she was in her traditional original identity of Spoiler. So you need to definitely pick up those comics. A lot of the 90s comics revolve around her as a character. She was the first teenager to
be pregnant in the comics.
Yep. And you have a hilarious scene between her and Tim Drake, with Tim Drake asking if he had done it.
And she aptly tells him, no, a one makeout session does not make a baby.
Alright, this is another one of mine. This is, of course, Nightwing, Dick Grayson. The original first Robin in his second identity as Nightwing. He's had various identities through the ages, including Renegade, Batman, and...
Can we talk about Agent Grayson? 52?
I don't know. I don't like that one.
I think he was just trying to be Bond. James Bond.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. New 52 had a lot of issues with it. Personally, though, I like the design that Nightwing has. I'm a big fan of the blue and black. I did not care for the more red and blue, black with blue hint design that they did for his New 52 design. I was very happy when Rebirth brought back his old blue and black design. If you look closely, he has the sticks that he's known for carrying around on him. And he is one of my, he is probably my favorite secondary character from Batman, being that they don't make a Red Hood at this point, which I would love to see, and I might have to pick up the Arkham Knight version that they might have of him. Well, at least we know Arkham Knight is Jason Todd. Spoiler, by the way, so I could get Jason that way.
I like that the design, they went with the 90s look, so he's got a stripe down all the way to his middle of two fingers. That was something that was really cool for me, liking his design in the 90s comics. And his mask is obviously different, but well done with the details on it.
Hey, let's just be glad we didn't get Disco Wing.
Disco Wing! Okay, so this is Green Lantern. He was originally one of mine, because he's one of my favorite characters. This one is obviously Hal Jordan. Very basic design. You can't do much with Green Lantern, but he does have his power ring. You can't see it because it's behind his ear there on his thing, so you have to have that. It would have been cool if they had done the lanterns with these, because that is the source of their power for their rings. But obviously well done. Chose a nice green. The mask doesn't necessarily look like it matches the rest of his outfit, but that could just even be a shadowing of his head.
The mask reminds me more of Nightwing's mask, how I pictured it being in the animated series. But yeah, they did a really good job on the lantern insignia on the chest. This, I believe, harkens back to his, I want to say, 90s design.
A little bit mixing Golden Age or Silver Age with the 90s look that he has.
Yep, his hair looks pretty nice too. I like how they did his hair. It almost does look like the really short haircut he always had.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Green Arrow. I got him at Six Flags Magic Mountain when we went on our 1-year anniversary of our dating career. He is my favorite character of all time from DC. I really like Green Arrow. And of course it's all our queen. He's got his little goatee, and they even got really decent detail, even putting his green G for his belt buckle. Although his picture on this box has him with his green bow, which he normally has, but his actual pop has just a gray bow. So
this is definitely very similar, or if not taken from a lot of his comic series. I want to say Kevin Smith, like Archer's Quest and ones like that. He definitely looks like that design. Personally, we haven't picked it up yet, but I'm a big fan of the Arrow version of Oliver Queen that they have. They have several different modifications to him, but we just, with money being tight and stuff, we haven't gotten to pick up every version of the character, and this is traditionally how you think of Green Arrow, and I believe in a later scene in Arrow they even show him sort of looking like this, coming off the island. So, but I really like it. He's holding his bow, he's got his bag swung over his shoulder, and it would even look like he's got his hood on. It's hard to see kind of in the picture here just with the way the lighting is, but he does appear to have his hood on, which is a nice thing. And you've even got the bands on the gloves and stuff to show his gloves the way he has them in the show, or in the comic book. So all in all, I would say if this wasn't Robin Hood, or if it's Green Arrow and not Robin Hood, that it's a very well done design, but it does also remind me of Robin Hood.
Which he is based off of Robin Hood more than Robin is, but Robin is also based off of Robin Hood too. Alright, next up is Harley Quinn, one of my favorite villains, or anti-heroes as she is now in the Rebirth. This is Harley Quinn with her little pop gun. I'll turn it to the side so you can see the pop gun. She is very well done. One of the characters that came from the animated series that got translated into the comics due to her popularity. So she's only been around since the 90s. But she's very well done. They did an open style for her mask and got some good details like her diamonds, not that you can see them very well, in the box on her leg there.
And a mole on her cheek.
Yeah, this one accidentally has a mole on the cheek, so it got a little back spot there. So.
I will say it's kind of odd to me, but I grew up with the animated series version, noticing that her ends of her hat, the end of her gesture hat, are not quite as white as I would have expected. They're more of a dark gray in the box, and it's not just the lighting of what you guys are seeing. It really is. She really has a very, it is a charcoal gray color for the...
I'm thinking on this one that whole section was black and then they painted the white over and it just didn't do well.
It is possible. A lot of these are, I believe, hand painted?
Possibly.
But again, I'm not sure. But again, we don't open ours to look at them very closely. We've rarely opened a box except to pop the box out because it's bent after coming in on one of ours.